assisting organization in harnessing technology to deliver their business goals. And the fundamentals of our business are built on winning around with the customers. So if the customer is winning, we are automatically winning the race. Okay. I would also like to mention that Reliance Infosystems has been Partner of the Year for Microsoft, not one time, not two times, 8 times, which is a proud moment for us. And also, we are operating in 11 markets. And my Reliance Infosystems has also been recognized as Microsoft Advanced Specialization as well, 17 times. We also hold 6 solution partner designations. So that is infrastructure, data and AI, digital and app innovation, modern work, security, and business application. So this is something we are really proud of as in Reliance Infosystem. So our success pillar are based on 4 things. First of all, success is basically embarking on a transformative journey with us, means stepping into a future of boundless possibilities. It begins with revitalizing infrastructures, fostering agility and sustainable growth through the innovative solutions. So the pathway evolves championing efficiency and harmonizing operations to craft a seamless route to success. So number one success pillar which we depend on, that is AI and people transformation, which means enhancing productivity and employee experience through AI. Number second is operations and insight. So driving business operations, control, and amplifying efficiency, leading to insight for action. Okay. Third, we depend on cyber defense, encompasses several cybersecurity services and solutions, right? And lastly, cloud services that involves infrastructure and services in the cloud. Okay. We also have some special announcement and a good news for all of the attendees today, which we will announce in the last of the webinar. So I appreciate all of you guys to join this. So bear with us. You guys will get a good news in the end of the webinar. Okay. I will hand over the session to my subject matter expert in Microsoft Power Platform apps, to Esther. Here you go, Esther. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Mohammed, for that introduction. As Mohammed has said, we're here to understand how we can accelerate business impacts with intelligent application innovation. What is intelligent application innovation? Intelligent application innovation is when you leverage automation, AI, intelligence, and when you leverage it to create solutions, right? We can say that, okay, you have intelligent application innovation. Also, these are applications that are AI powered. By AI powered, we mean that, when you use AI to create your application, from when you create applications with AI, not just creating application with AI, when you use your usual large language models to review your code, right? When you use it to debug for unit testing, we say that such application is intelligent. Also, when these are solutions that have AI agents embedded in them, right? It could be your usual predictive agents, your large language models. Personally, right? I know so many out there, that use these predictive models to recommend products or recommend content on their platforms. Usually, it is usually maybe based on the previous product that you've bought, right? Or even, previous products or tabs that you've interacted with, right? We can say that such application is intelligent. In this day and time, where business utilize data to make strategic decisions, right? Where they use the insights derived from their data to make decisions. So it is very important that you have solutions, right, that are getting the right data for you, right? So I would also say that a solution or an application is intelligent when it is able to get the right data that you have, whether from your users, in a way that it is not inconveniencing them, right? I remember I just made a reference to intelligent applications that recommend certain products, right? I know you might be asking yourself, oh my goodness, how are they able to recommend the product to you? It is through your previous interaction, right? Not just through your previous interaction, maybe by certain tabs that you click, they are able to get those data and are able to make decisions, right? They are able to create models, right? These models are able to then recommend based on how they perceive you, right? Also, when an application is user-friendly, right? When an application is user-centric, when your average user does not need to search up or chat up the service decks before they are able to use your application end to end. You're not having weird requests. Oh my goodness, how can I make payment on your platform? How can I do this? Right? We can say that that application is intelligent. It is user friendly. It is self-service enough. We can say that your application is intelligent. Also, when your application can easily integrate or interact with other systems, we know that, as professionals, right? We know that we cannot say that an application is sufficient, right? Because we cannot say that an application is sufficient enough for you just because it is standalone. It is a big flaw on the application, right? When the application cannot interact with other applications, because in this day and time where there's need to integrate with other systems, whether your cost system, whether your ERP solutions, whether your CRM solutions, even payment gateway, right? There is need for applications, especially your user-facing applications, to be able to interact well with other applications. So when there's seamless flow of information from one application to another, we can say that these applications are intelligent. So now the question is, how does it impact you as a business, right? How does it impact your business? And why do we think that intelligent application innovation is important? Why? One, because we know that organizations, currently face increasing pressure to innovate, right? To roll out innovations out there. And it is because your competition is currently somewhere rolling out innovations, not just innovations, strategic and groundbreaking innovations. And you cannot afford to slack, right, as a business, so that you can stay competitive and in the market. You cannot afford to slack. And one way that organizations today are able to do that is by being operational efficient, right? When you allow computers to be able to, do those boring, repetitive, simple to difficult tasks, right? You are able to create workflows, not just workflows, automated workflows, right? That does your business processes, right? How that impacts you is that you're not just able to operate faster, right? Your operations become faster, but also, right, because one thing that drives automation is data, is documentation, right? You also improve, or you also increase knowledge transfer. I know organizations today face difficulty in how they can transfer their knowledge from business process knowledge from one employee to another. The good news is that when you automate your business processes, in a way you document your business processes, right? You have automation, you have computer, you have applications that is replicating your usual business process, right? You would reduce the risk of key man risk. Also, another advantage of operational efficiency is that you are able to standardize your process. And once processes are standardized. You are able to see how it can get better easily. Also, another important is that you then have more employees making more strategic decisions than doing those boring, repetitive tasks that computer can, replicate, right? I would always say that if computers can do your job, then it means that it is time to move on. It is time to move on to other and better and more strategic roles, right? And these are the things that automation does for you. How does it impact your business? You're able to cut costs on operations, right? You're able to cut operational costs because computers are doing the things that are doing the business processes that would usually take 2 to 3 weeks, are doing it in seconds, right? Your operations are faster, you're able to make faster decisions. And at the end of the day, you're able to, serve your customers better. And we understand that when customers are happy for you as a business, it means that, it means more money, more revenue for you. And at the end of the day, you become at a competitive advantage. So now that we understand what intelligent application is and how it can impact your business, so I would like us to turn to, a poll that you would see in the chat box right about now. So I want to know, where could AI drive the most value for you in your organization? I really want to know. I want to hear from you. Where could AI drive the most value for your organization? Where can automation drive the most value? Okay, I'm seeing only one response. I would really, really like to. Okay, two. Wow, I'm seeing a lot of increase in employee productivity and efficiency. Yes, because at the end of the day, when your employees are more efficient, it serves, you're able to also serve your customers better. Oh, I'm also seeing more responses from cost reduction and operational optimization. Okay, I'm seeing more on accelerated time to value. That's good. Oh, please, I would really, really love to hear from, more people so that, we can go on. Right. All right. Please, the polls would remain in the chat box for the duration of this webinar. So please tend to them while we proceed to the next phase of this presentation, which is to introduce our AI co-pilot, our AI co-developer, which is Power Apps with Copilots. I know you're wondering why, like, what is the link between all these benefits that we speak on and, Power Apps and Copilots? So this is why. Okay, Power Apps and Copilot, right, is a Microsoft suite of tools that allows you to create application with no to low code. And by that, I mean that the skill sets, right, required to build application using this tool ranges from very basic digital skill to professional software development skill, right? And because of that, it means that you can leverage the skill sets that you have, right? You don't have to go out there to start looking for Power Apps developers. You can leverage the current citizen developers, right, in your organizations, people who are, interested, people who have good understanding of their business processes, right? Also, people who have just basic digital skill. It could be just Microsoft Word. It could just be Microsoft Excel, right? This skill set, I'm telling you, it is enough to build intelligent application. And this is why, like I said, it leverages on, it only requires low to no code tool to create application. Also, because you'll be building applications with Copilot, meaning that people who just have good understanding of the business process can create a good prompt. Just with a good prompt, in seconds, you can create applications. And we all know that applications don't just stand alone. There is need for you to capture data. You see, there's need for you to capture data. You want to understand how people are working, right? You want to know, are people really working? You want to track your employees' operations, right? You want to understand how they use the application. So there is a need for you to have a data source. And the good news is that Copilot will not just create applications for you. It would also create the data source, right? It would also create the funnel to which applications would be stored in the tables and data sources, right? It would also help, right, with the data modeling. Of course, right, you would be able to edit it however you want, but you can do it alongside with Copilot. So, and I know you're wondering that, okay, I'm not in the points, I'm not in, I'm not looking for new application. The good news is that you can also extend your current enterprise application, right? You can review it, you can edit, you can improve on some of your applications with Copilot, right? You can do it with Copilot. And you can also extend your current application. So one thing about Power Platform, one thing about Power Apps is that you can, Power Apps allows you to connect to over 800 applications, over 800 connectors, right? It allows you to easily access Microsoft AI agents, right? With AI builders, right? So you can connect with social media platforms, you can connect with your ERP solutions, you can extend, for example, if you have like maybe a Business Central ERP system and without the, the payments, the payroll module, right? And you're thinking, okay, do I have to still pay? Do I have to still pay my consultants? Do I have to still pay them? No, you can decide and say, okay, since I understand how payroll should happen, right? I understand how payroll processing. You can just extend that, you can extend that ERP solution, right? You can extend it by building a Power Platform, a Power application with Power Apps, right? And you can do it again with Copilot, right? And you are able to build applications in seconds because you're not just building alone, you're not alone. You'll be doing it with Copilot. So another, advantage and benefit of Power Apps with Copilot is that you are able to also embed some AI agents like document processing, predictive analytics model, objects and detection model, and sentiment analysis agents and models, right? I think this reminds me of our most recent client who thought that, oh my goodness, who thought that they were not efficient operationally. And this is why usually they get documents from so many channels, from their social media channels, from their digital channel, even physically, right, from their clients. And it usually takes 2 to a week to get response back to their clients. And this is why, because of the volume of documents that they get from various channels, right? Because of the volume of this document. When I mean volume, I'll count. I mean 100, 200. And the team is small. I think there were about a team of 2 to 3, right? And they were considering either finding a way they can use computer to do it or to employ more people, right? And they came to us, right? We documented the entire process and, we advised them on how they could do it. So this is how they were able to do it. They were able to, create like an application with Power Apps where they can be monitoring, how documents are routed, and with AI builders, right? And with the classification model that comes with AI builder and document processing models or agents, right? They were able to route those documents to the required routing. I think one thing I failed to mention in my story is that it usually takes them about 4 to 3 days to get the document from these different channels to the required departments, right? Before that department begins to now process the document. So you understand that it would take 3, 5 days, 4 days, right, to route the document to the right department before processing. And as you can see, that is not efficient, right? So with AI, with Power Apps and Copilots and AI agents, right, they were able to reduce the routing period that usually takes 3 to 4 days to seconds, right? Which at the end of the day, they were able to reduce the TAT to how to, from when clients submit the document to when they are able to, get response back to their client. They were able to reduce that runaround time from 2 weeks to a week, right? To just 2 or 3 days. Of course, that's the current standpoint. They are also looking for ways that they can also automate the document processing so that they can get feedbacks to their clients in seconds, in few minutes. So with this analogy, I know that you are seeing ways that industries, companies are doing this, right? Most in a more efficient way. Also, at least now that we understand, what Power Apps with Copilot can do for you, I want to understand, right? I want to hear from you. Have you ever explored the use of Power Apps with Copilot? Like, is your organization currently using it? I want to hear from you so that, I want to hear from you. There will be a poll right now in the chat box. I want to hear from you. Is your organization currently using it? Right? Have you heard of it? Are you currently using it? I can see only 2 responses. I would love more so that we can, proceed to the next phase of this webinar. Okay, 3 responses. Oh my goodness, like I'm so happy that there are so many people on the call who can relate with, the benefits, with what with what Power Apps with Copilot are doing. My goodness. Oh no, that's no problem. You are here. You are here. You are the right place. And I know you've gotten started already. And I know that you are pumped with the beautiful things that, you're hearing that Copilot with Power Apps can do. Right. Okay. So, okay, I can see a question in the chat box. So we would answer that at the end of this session. So please just don't forget, right? Put your questions in the chat box. And by the end of this presentation, we will answer. There will be a Q&A session. So now we'll proceed to the next phase of this presentation, which is, how can we get started, right? How can Power Apps with Copilot be a culture for you, be a culture for your organization, right? How can Power Apps be a culture for your organization? I think one is to be able to make a case to the management, right? Is to be able to make a case to the management that this is important. I know sometimes it can be hard to prove to the management or to prove to the board, especially when it comes to new technologies, right? So one, you can, by metrics like reduction in development time, which, I've made instances on how you can leverage business process owners, right, to create application faster, especially with Copilot, right? That's one. 2 is cost reduction, right? You are able to reduce costs in building application, and also you're able to reduce operational cost by automating these tasks, right? Amongst other metrics, right? And how can you get started in your organization? I think one way you can get started is by being here, which you're already here. So it means that you've gotten started. Right about now, you have gotten started. Another way is by, reaching out to us on a one-on-one, consultational session so that we can train you and train your employees on how you can build applications and automate your processes yourself, right? Other ways is, by building a community of, right? You can start by, when you train people, you spot people who are interested. By spotting people who are interested, you're able to pick out citizen developers among them, right? And you're able to build a community based on those people, right? So other ways are, so other ways is to start building the application based on the knowledge you've gotten. I mean, the best way to get started is by actually starting, right? Right about now, I would hand over to my colleague, Caleb, who would show you in real time how you can build applications with Power Apps and Copilots in few minutes.
Thank you very much, Esther, for that excellent overview of intelligent apps and the potential for explaining the potential it holds in different businesses. So now here comes the fun part. You heard the what, you heard the why. Now I'm going to be showing you the how. I'm going to be doing something that would have been impossible a few years back. I'm going to be building a business application right here, right now, simply by describing what I need. No coding, no technical expertise required, just a clear understanding of the business process and a conversation with Copilot. So by the end of this demo, you see a working app that your team can start using today. And more importantly, you will see exactly how you can do this yourself for challenges you're facing in your own organization. This right here is the Copilot experience. And this would walk us through creating our data models and also the application that we're going to be using. All we have to do here is just describe what we want our application to do in natural language, and Copilot will bring it to life. So I would just describe, I need an app to track projects. And then generate. Now let's watch Copilot in action. So by clicking this, we can already see Copilot now works with us in creating a solution for our problem that we have presented. We see the idea that Copilot wants to implement or wants to put out to solve the problem. So we see it draws out a plan for us and also tells us how it intends on coming to a solution. So we can go through this, and if the solution is trying to come up, it doesn't sit well with us, we can edit it and then keep querying Copilot. But for now, I would go with this. So I'll say this looks good. It keeps on going with us. So the thing with Copilot, it's your code developer. So anyone can actually do this as long as you understand the process, and Copilot is going to go through the process with you as your developer and going to help you build your models. So you can see right here, we have the process that it wants to go about. So this process encompasses the end-to-end workflow of creating, assigning, managing, and tracking projects and tasks. So it tells us what it wants to do, and it looks good with me. And then it creates a data model for me. So you see, it creates 3 tables. We can go into those tables to see what Copilot has done. And by the time we go in, we can already see it creates a model for us. It helps us join the tables together and relate them without us having to even have this technical expertise on how to do this. It creates columns for us, and you can see what Copilot has created. So we have the name column, the description, the start, end date, status, and the project manager column. It also helps us with sample data, so we can see how the application is going to look like when we have imputed our own data inside. So like I said, Copilot keeps on going with us throughout all the process. We can decide to make changes to this table if we want to. We can decide to add more things. Even if we don't know what to add, we can always just ask Copilot, and Copilot will answer us. So we can say, give me suggestions for columns. And I would, okay. And then I'll send. And then you see Copilot starts to work on it and can come up with suggestions. And then you see we have a budget, we have a client name, we have a priority. So I can just click on this budget, and already Copilot still helps me create a prompt to create the budget column. I send that, and then it's going to help us work on it and create that budget column. So you see, okay, I'll try this again. And then, okay, there was an error there, but sometimes that happens. I will just go back. Yeah, and then I can say, okay, this is good. Maybe I'll create the budget column myself, and I can see that looks good. It creates a Canvas application for us. And then I can look at what it's trying to tell us, an app for project managers and team members to oversee projects. I can also see it helps us create some reports and some Power Automate flows to automate the reminders, the deadline reminders. So I click on looks good. And yes, already it has already saved up the tables for us, and now we can create and see what Copilot has created for us. So already we can now see the advantages of having Copilot by our side. We are able to cut costs. Normally what we're about to see now, we're about to see what Copilot has created for us. Normally this would have taken 8 to 12 weeks for a traditional developer to come up with, but we're about to see an application come up in just less than 5 minutes. Also, you can see how in real time, how this can help us save costs. We don't need to employ so many developers. We don't need to also spend thousands of dollars. All we need is our Microsoft 365 license, and we are able to see our return on investment immediately. Also, you can see the productivity gain. So instead of project managers to keep sending emails, coming up with different meetings to find out the status of some projects, everything is done here in real time, and you can see how it can make every other person more productive and focus more on the things they need to focus on. So you can see this is the Copilot Studio, where we can make designs and make changes to our application. But we can already see that there's an application here for us that Copilot has created for us. We come in, we can see the application. And one good thing about the application that it creates for us, yes, we can make some changes, we can make it a lot finer if we want to. But the good thing is it already cuts us the stress of making it responsive. It makes it responsive for us. We can see it in different devices, and you see how it automatically fits to any device that we have. You can see we can go into projects, we can see the different projects that we have. These are dummy data. We can create new projects. If we want to create a project, we can do that. If we don't want to, we can always go back. We can see we have a team member module. To add new team members, we can create a new team member. We can fill this in. We can assign a project. We can create an email. We can use the autofill property and the tool, and then autofill this. And then you see already we have that email created and that user created. So you can see how helpful this can already be for us. We can look at the task and do more things. We can see how it will look in our tablets. So let's say we have an Apple iPad. We see how it looks in the iPad. We go into our team members. We can see how responsive and beautiful this is. We can also still go into our data, and maybe we want to make some changes to our data. We can always still come here, edit, and make some changes to the data. So let's say right now, we can come and add that budget field we couldn't add before, and we can also add a duration. So we have a start date and an end date. So we can add a duration column by ourselves and see how easy it is to add your columns by yourself. So right here, I want a duration. And then I will make this a formula. So we can also make use of our Excel formulas, very easy to use. And then I'm going to be making use of those two columns I have to automatically calculate the duration. So now we have date difference. I'm going to make use of the date difference. Sorry, I need to use the date diff. Yes, so intelligence will help us. We want to use the start date. I'll make use of the start date. I want to make use of the end date also. I'll make use of the end date. And then I want to make use of the time unit of days. So that's the unit I want it to be calculated as. And already this is something you also use in Excel, and you're able to make use of it right here in Power Apps and Copilot. And then I save. So save, but just by saving, I've been able to create a calculated column that automatically helps me get the duration between these two dates. So I can close this, we can go back to the application. So if you were listening, Esther also mentioned about making the application intelligent. So what Copilot and Power Apps also provides is that intelligence to the application. So we can add the Copilot into our application. So users can query data and find out things about the project. You want to know about the status of the project. You want to have an idea of different things that you can ask the Copilot. You can always do that here. So I'm going to quickly be creating a new screen and see how easy it is to navigate the system. You can create a new screen by just clicking that button. It already gives us a template that we can follow. I'll change the name of the screen to Copilot screen. And then I'll add the Copilot control to this. So now this is the process of us making this application intelligent. We have a good application to track our projects now, and then we can now make that application intelligent. So I'll just reduce this so we can see it and then stretch this out. Yes. Okay. So so now let us test this out. Let's use this view so we can see it properly. Yes, so I can ask some questions like which project will take the longest? And then now Copilot goes into our database and queries that data and gets us real time. So you see, the project with the longest duration is Orion, which lasts 209 days. So now we don't need to go through a whole lot of spreadsheets, tables, data, trying to figure out things. Right now, our application is intelligent enough for us to know, for it to for us to be able to query it and get real-time answers. I want to also show us how we can quickly link the project screen to this Copilot screen and see how easy and fast we can get things done. So I want to add a button here so that when users are on the project team, users can quickly click on that button and it takes them to that project screen for them to talk to Copilot. So I will just insert a button here. After inserting this button, all I need to do is now tell Copilot what I want that button to look like, or what I want that button's text to say, or what I want that button to do. So I can just tell Copilot right now. So I can say, change the text to chat with Copilot, and I will like to navigate to the Copilot screen on click of this button. So by telling Copilot this, so like Esther has been trying to explain, Copilot is our code developer. So all we have to do is understand the process, understand what we want to be in this application, and we see Copilot bring it to action. So I'll just try this out so we can see it properly. And now we see we already have a button here, chat with Copilot. So I click on this button and automatically it brings me to the Copilot screen. So you can see how we are able to get things done just by a conversation with Copilot. We can still query Copilot and ask it things about the data. And I just want us to know that what we have witnessed here is the future of business application development. This isn't just about replacing the traditional developers, but it's about empowering our employees, our users, making them more solution-oriented, making them innovative. So now they think of a solution, and instead of just brushing it by the side, they know that they can create a solution or come up with a solution for the problems they face. So I want us now to look at our own organization, each and every one of us. Let us think about the processes that are still stuck in the spreadsheet. What are processes that needs approvals that has to be taken from desk to desk? Or what are workflows that could be automated in minutes, that could be done in seconds? What are business problems that you think you see the way we've solved one business problem now? What are those business problems that you think can also be solved in your own organization? I want us to try Copilot out today and see the value we are able to get from using Copilot and Power Apps. Remember, what would have taken us 15 minutes, or what would have taken us 15 weeks to do, we've just been able to do it now in 15 minutes. So that is the power of an intelligent app innovation. Thank you very much. I'll be passing this to Mohammed.
Thank you so much, Caleb, for an amazing demo session. That was really good. So I'll just take some question and answers right now. It's a time. You guys can drop any questions, any concerns you have regarding the session. So we would love to answer those. You can drop the questions in the chat, and our subject matter experts will give you the answers for those.
So, Mohammed, I think we have a question in the chat box. Joshua, you're asking if I think the use case that I mentioned, if it sits in the Microsoft ecosystem or a third party, right? And the answer is that yes, it sits within the Microsoft Corp ecosystem. So I am thinking that you are referring to some of the AI builders that we used in creating, or that we used in automating, right? The document processing for that, for our clients. And even the Power Apps itself, right? It sits within Microsoft ecosystem, right? Although because it is such an intelligent tool, you can actually integrate it, right? You can use it, you can integrate it with a third-party solution, meaning that if you have like a custom application, you can actually you can actually create a Power Apps with Copilot. You can actually use the AI builders on, some of your third-party solutions. So I think, and I hope it answers your questions. Also, I just want to put it out there that, document processing are not the only things, or are not the only agents that comes with AI Builder, or they're not the only capabilities, right? We see so many industries out there making use of it in sales and marketing. I know of a client who built, a Power App, like an application used for lead nurturing, right? Where they were able to create a workflow that creates personalized content to their clients, right? They were able to create an automated nurturing workflow where automated emails were going out based on their lead stage, whether it is cold, warm, or hot. And it was personalized based on the personality of their clients, right? You see content like, maybe because the lead, is a student, right? You see so many personalized content or campaigns going out to the client that speaks to them being students, right? Also, you can also build inventory application, right? To monitor your inventory levels. People in is it operations are using it. So I would say that impossibility really does not exist in terms of creating enterprise application. Right.
Great answer, Esther. So we do have another question from Eden Kule. I hope I pronounced it right. So the question is divided in two parts. So are there any limitations to apps it can build, or can it build, for example, an ERP accounting system that create quote, order, and invoice in a standard business process? Second part of the question is, how about the back end, the query language like PostgreSQL, SQL, MS SQL server? How do we access those? So our subject matter expert who would like to take this question.
All right. The first question. Yes, you can indeed, right, create like an ERP accounting system with Power Apps, right? You can, right? And that creates codes, order, and invoices. Yes. So I think one of the specialty of using Power Platform is, like I said, document processing, generating documents, not just also capturing content from documents. And yes, you can create an ERP accounting system. I know, one of the best use cases, right, of, Power Apps is that aside from maybe recreating ERP solution, you can actually even also extend the functionality of your current ERP solutions, right? You can maybe say, let's say, create a vendor management system. You can create a payroll management system. You can extend. And because these are Microsoft tools, right? They can integrate that seamless integration with this your core system. So yes, you can, right? Okay.
Great. So we do have another question from Nobert. So question is, I would like to understand the issue around licensing for using Copilot to do the app development. And after the development, how are these apps hosted or put into live production? Does the Copilot package it for the development? That's a question. Who would like to take that?
Oh, all right. I don't know if we can say there's licensing issues, right? By the end of this this session, we can actually, you can reach out to us to have conversations on licensing. But the good thing, also another thing about, Power Platform is that with your M365 license, it comes by default with a Power Platform licensing, right? Of course, you can also get core Power Platform licenses. You can also just have Power Apps licensing. So, but in case if you want the quotation, we can, we can have a one-on-one session and you can reach out to us for that. We can just, get you started on how you can get the licenses for, for Power Apps with Copilot.
Thank you, Esther, for this answer. Do we have any other questions? If yes, please drop in the chat. We would love to answer those questions for you. So in the absence of any question, we'll move forward. And now the moment you have been waiting for. So as a thank you for attending today's session, Reliance Infosystem is offering to all attendees a complimentary one-on-one advisory service. So basically, this session is your chance to get started with Microsoft Power Apps and Copilot. Please use the link. Please use the link shared in this like chat box, or you can see here as well. And also you can scan the QR code to book your sessions today. You can see in your chat, you can see on the screen as well. Additionally, we will be reaching out to you, to support you with your AI journey, and we would love to do that, right? So if anyone would like to book, click on the link in the chat box and scan the QR code. And finally, thank you all for being part of today's session. It's been really great to have you join this conversation on accelerating business impact with intelligent app innovation. We appreciate your time and participation as well. Once again, thank you so much. To stay connected and to continue the conversation, please follow us on our social media platforms. You'll find updates, resources, and more opportunities to learn and engage with the upcoming initiatives. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. Until then, stay inspired, stay innovative, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible for your business. Bye for now.